Have you ever wondered what happens day to day in a bike shop? Well, we're here at Friction Cycles to find out what a day in a life looks like in a bike shop. Hello, how are you?
Owen, welcome mate, thanks for coming down.
Thanks very much for having me.
Absolute
Can you
pleasure.
show me around?
Let's get it. Well, here we have a beautiful showroom.
Okay, very good.
Bikes for everyone, really.
Oh, nice. Oh, and we've got some bike racks.
We got some
wooden in.
Yeah,
good
yeah.
that it's all about all bikes, not just mountain bikes as well.
Well, that's it. We're all pretty big fans of mountain biking here.
Okay.
And we were known as a bit of a mountain bike shop, but that's not the reality of where we are, right in the heart of the community.
Okay, yeah.
So we've developed into providing more commuting bikes.
Yep.
Bikes for students.
Yeah, yeah.
Obviously some top spec, lush mountain bikes as well.
Yeah, I can see, yeah.
And here we are at the back of the shop. This is the workshop. This is where all the magic happens. This is where we fix all the bikes, build all the beautiful new bikes.
Yep.
And this is where we just, we get it done.
Sam, thanks very much for having us here at
You're
Friction.
very welcome.
Can you just tell us a little bit about when you started and kind of, how you've evolved? Because I feel like I visited very early on and you were really kind of just mountain bike, and now it's a wonderful kind of all-round shop, lots of really good mountain bikes. But tell us a little bit of the backstory.
For sure, yeah. So I opened this place in October 2020, which was a pretty rough time to open with the lockdowns, and we missed the good bit of 2020 where everybody sold everything.
Yep.
And by the time we opened, there was very little stock. So loads of people coming through the door wanting a bike.
Yep.
But we found it very hard to get them said bikes. And so I think when we opened in a challenging time, if we can get through that, we can get through pretty much everything. We became known as the mountain bike shop very, very quickly in Bristol. And that's evolved with time. We've now been here 4.5 years, and we're doing more and more general bike shop stuff, more and more city, hybrid, gravel, e-city, as well as the mountain bike still. But it's been important for us to diversify and get a wider range of customers, especially through the last challenging couple of years in the bike industry and the mountain bike industry.
So you started in 2020, but I mean, did you just kind of wake up, did you have an epiphany and decide, I need to provide for the community and create a mountain bike shop in South Bristol? Or where's your backstory?
More of a long underlying passion for bikes, and sort of a lifelong dream really for me to open a bike shop. I first got into cycling mountain bikes riding in the south of France as a kid. I used to live there. My mum used to date a bike shop owner, so as a kid I was constantly hanging about the bike shop, fixing punctures, doing bits and bobs on bikes. This was in the mid-90s, early to mid-90s, you know. So I was racing bikes in the early 90s, early mid-90s as a kid in France, and hanging about a bike shop, and I guess it kind of evolved from there really. My first proper job in the UK was in a bike shop age 15.
Okay, nice.
And I worked in the bike industry right until my mid-20s. Then I had a brief detour into construction where I learned management and site management and financial management and that sort of thing. And that gave me the grounding I needed to open a business, really, to start a business.
Because I think that's the key bit, is it is a business. And
this is a job that, never going to pay as well as engineering or aerospace or tech sector or whatever. So I think you have to be really passionate to work in this industry. And that's the first thing that's important about the industry, which is why all my staff here are passionate cyclists, mountain bikers. They live and dream this stuff. In choosing staff for a bike shop is picking passionate staff who are really, really knowledgeable about the products, about the bikes, who ride this stuff day in, day out, who can give customers the best advice, the best honest and genuine advice about the products and the bikes that the customers should be riding, for sure.
Awesome. Right. Nice one, mate. Have a good day.
Alpha, you seem really passionate, so you fit within sort of Sam's remit of his staff being really passionate about bikes, but can you tell us a little bit more about your role?
Yeah, absolutely. My role's quite varied here.
Okay.
One day I might be building a fresh bike, another day I might be just welcoming customers all day. Super special part to the job for me, that.
Yeah.
The customers can really make your day. I'm meeting so many people here in Bristol, such a diverse community in Bedminster, and that's really fun. Another part of my job is managing our team of local riders.
Okay.
So supporting the local talent, making sure they've got what they need, organising kind of dig days and sessions together. That's really fun. I love doing that.
So really kind of effectively investing in that community of riders and, well, riding for everybody.
Yeah, it's you know, it all happens here, but actually we want to be out there riding, and bringing that together is something that I do spend a bit of time on working here.
And I guess there's the work side of any role, but it feels like there's a bit more happening here. It feels like there's a real community in terms of the staff here. So is that another plus of working here?
Oh, completely. Working with quite a tight team of people that are, I mean, we're kind of like brothers. We support each other in such a tight way.
Yeah.
A great example was I got a last-minute invite to Vanta Jam a couple of years ago.
Okay,
yeah, it was sick. It was on a work day.
Right.
You know, it was midweek.
Yeah.
So thinking, I can't let the team down. Is it? Do I even ask? Is it going to happen?
Yep.
It was a no-brainer to let them know what was going on, and it was amazing that everyone went. We want you to be there. We know it's important to you. The team pulled together, sent me on my way on a work day, and I got to go and join in at Vanta.
You've got a broad range of brands here. Is that by design or by choice?
From the moment I joined, it was really clear to me that we only sell products we want to ride.
Okay.
Now, that, you know, no one's forcing our hand or making these decisions. This is our tight team of knowledge, the brands we love and the products that we actually recommend and support and have experience with.
Because you've actually ridden some of them.
Because we've actually ridden them, and that's such an important factor for us being a one-off shop. I think we've all got such time on these brands. We've all got years of experience. Coming from me, who's a bit younger, to the guys that have been working with them for 20, if not 30 years. And that's why we can provide such unique insight to helping our customers, really. And I think our shop manager in particular, you wouldn't find a friendlier face to help impart that knowledge in Bristol.
Okay, day in the life in a bike shop is, well, it can't be without actually getting bikes out the door. We've got 2 customers already here. Interestingly, both on, well, gravel bikes, but really different ones. And you both work together, but you didn't realise that you're both collecting bikes today. Which is awesome in terms of like how you've both ended up on similar but dissimilar bikes. So how did it happen?
Good question. I kind of knew that I wanted to grab a gravel bike. My commute to work involves being on roads and off-road and stuff like that. But I didn't have the first clue what to look for or what to get. So it was like a random Saturday. I was in the area. I popped into Friction Cycles, and I just was like, you know, give me a bit of advice. You know, what am I looking for? And I guess, you know, you guys went above and beyond and were like, you know, come in, we'll do a test ride. I managed to take out 4 bikes kind of across the gravel spectrum, so more towards the roadside, which is what I thought I wanted, and then this one, which is more towards the mountain biking side of things, and I just fell in love with this bike. So, you know, it's a testament to just get out and try bikes and see which one's right for you.
Nice.
Yeah, had a pretty similar thing as well, to be honest. So I came in like on the Friday or something. I kind of knew I wanted to grab bikes, and with Sammy, and I was like, let's just see what they've got in there. Kind of, Sam taught me through a few things, kind of said, what are you riding it for? What do you want to get out of it, basically? And then said, well, if you want to come back tomorrow, we can do some test rides. So I did, came back, rode this one, rode another more kind of road-focused one, and liked this one, found it super like comfy and fun to ride as well. So yeah, so I went for this.
Nice.
Yeah, with some added bits as well.
Well, no, added bits are always
for commuting.
Sam, very nice to meet you. Do a fist bump. We've met before, many, many moons ago, so I know how good you are. But can you describe your role? It feels so core here at Friction.
My job is to kind of make sure that everyone's happy in the shop.
Okay, happiness manager.
Yeah,
nice.
happiness manager, yeah, I guess, yeah. Not just, our staff mechanic who's here as well, but also the customers that come through the door, of course. It's almost my job to know what the customer needs before they come into the shop. So, I try and remember our customers' names, our regulars, and greeting people like how I want to be greeted myself in the shop, and making sure that those customers have access to great parts in the shop as well, of course. Making sure we choose what we stock really carefully. Which is a crucial part of the business, of course.
And I guess making sure that you've got there's that seasonality, especially here in the UK, where it is going to be wet and soggy for some months. So making sure that you're like, okay, cool.
Yeah,
we've got soft condition tyres. We've got all of those things.
Exactly. So, planning ahead and thinking about what it is that the workshop needs as well. We've got an amazing workshop here. And there's so many things that the workshop will need on a day-to-day basis. And, making sure orders getting put in on time. Thinking ahead, planning what jobs we've got coming in, knowing about what the diary is looking like for the coming weeks, so that I can pinpoint potential problems there and manage that workflow essentially. So it's a really important part of it.
So kind of happiness and being a soothsayer and being able to predict the future. Okay, sounds
crystal ball.
Yeah, sounds like not the easiest job here.
It's a fun job.
Like I want to head to the workshop because I know nuts and bolts. I know that bit.
Yeah, our workshop is amazing. We're super lucky to have one of the best mechanics and such a great guy, Oscar, in the workshop. He has been in the game for a long, long time, and he knows so much. He could talk to you about any particulars of any bike for as long as you need to know parts, information about that bike. He's got it all up here, and it's great. It's great to have.
It is.
Yeah, it's crucial.
It's such a resource.
I think it's so important because, the customer. Essentially, we could give the best customer service, and have all the best parts here. But if the work being done isn't to a good enough level, then of course it all just falls apart.
We're joined by Oscar, who is workshop manager, head of the workshop.
Manager, the guy with the spanners.
Okay. So, guy with spanners, is your role, I'm imagining, just fixing lots of bikes and maybe PDIing bikes and helping kind of share the knowledge that you've got over, a couple of decades. I remember crossing paths with you many moons ago at races. Mm-hmm. Just tell us a little bit about your role here at
first and foremost, it is to fix bikes. As a manager, I guess it's also helping everyone else fix bikes. As you said, been doing this quite a while, sort of over 25 years in the workshop.
Wow.
So I've picked up a lot of what a lot of people think is useless information. But when you're fixing bikes, it does come in use at some point here and there. So helping people through their processes, sharing my processes with them to help them maybe develop their own.
Customers are going to come in, maybe not with a bike they bought from you, but they're experiencing something on the trail. And because of the way that Friction is set up, there is access to the mechanics, and they can lean into you and be like, cool, my bike needs fixing, I think it's X, I think it's Y. And you're able to kind of walk them through that process. So are you sharing your kind of processes in problem solving to them as well?
I guess as soon as I have a customer introducing me with a problem, that's when I start going into processes as well. And I'll be sharing with them what I'm doing. I'll ask them questions, and I might explain why I'm asking that question, because sometimes the question might seem irrelevant. I'll get customers coming in saying, I'm getting this going wrong, and I might take a quick look at their bike as well. And I might actually go, there's 5 other things that I found that you need to fix before you even think about fixing that. Trying to work out their language, or the language they're using we all have different ways of describing problems. So sometimes it's even just trying to nail down where the noise is coming from.
We've kind of chatted about it a little bit before, but it's not essential, but it's a really interesting thing for a mechanic to have, is this race experience, whether that be at World Cup downhills or at UK downhill races, because you've got the experience of, you might have a really big toolbox and you've got depth of knowledge, but you might not have all the tools there, and you are essentially sort of in an easy up in a field. So, you know, I guess that's a lot of me, but what's your experience of that kind of like race mechanic side? Do you think it's important, or?
As I say, it's another string to the bow. You're going to get experience at races that you can't get in other scenarios.
Yeah.
But so I would say actually a good workshop mechanic is probably a good mechanic in loads of different scenarios, because you have to adapt as much as, like I wouldn't say don't trust a mechanic who doesn't have any race experience. It's just, I mean, for me, it was definitely a good way to learn a few more things. Maybe a good mechanic likes to challenge themselves.
Back to that problem solving of the original thing.
I mean, that's the whole reason why you're in a workshop more often than not.
Yeah.
I find anyway, people who have been at it and stuck at it for a long time.
Yeah.
We're sort of the people that like to give ourselves a problem, maybe even if there's not one there. Processes are how I deal with everything in life.
Yeah.
So it just so happens that my way of dealing with things fits into this environment very well.
So, George, what are you doing? Are you building this for stock, or what's happening?
So this bike has just been sold. A customer a month ago or so has come in and bought the bike. And
okay, nice.
So now I'm just going through it, checking that it's all put together correctly. We call it a PDI. So
okay, yeah.
And then we write it down on the sheet, and so the customer can have that with them. So yeah, it's good for everyone, so the bike's safe.
Nice. And I've heard a story about how you started here that's kind of interesting. Do you want to share that with me?
Yeah, for sure. So I had just got back from a big old ride. Me and a mate rode up to Fort William to watch the World Champs.
Sorry, you rode from Bristol to Fort William?
Yeah. We were like, why not? It'd be fun.
So what bikes? How? When?
I was on a gravel bike and my mate was on his dad's road bike, and we had bike packing bags and tents.
Okay,
and
yeah,
we just went up there. It was a bit wet. It rained every day, but
So was it World Champs like a couple of years ago?
Yeah, 2023. So
okay, yeah.
Which was really good to see Charlie Hatton win, which is insane. Laurie Greenland on the podium. We actually had a big old banner of Laurie Greenland.
Nice.
As he's from Bristol. All that kind of stuff. So that was really good fun,
Nice.
And then came back, and then Friction posted on their Instagram they need a new Saturday kid.
Okay.
So nipped down to the shop and started speaking to them, and they were like, yeah, sound good, you got the job.
And there it is, the final touch, all done and dusted. Now we've just got to call the customer, let them know their bike is ready.
Oh, awesome. So new bike day for them.
New bike day again, it just keeps coming.
Okay, that's brilliant. Well, thanks very much for kind of like showing me around and letting me experience a day in the life in a bike shop, because it's moved on in the kind of like decades that I've been out of a bike shop, and it's really fantastic to see how much like the community and the customers really matter to bike shops now to help them grow and to, help get more people on bikes and get that passion and stoke that you guys have got behind the counter into more people who are, to start with customers, but then they're just going to be, mountain bikers.
That's
great to see.
Well, thanks for coming to help us out.
Thank you very much.
It's been absolutely great to have you and coming to see what great fun we have at work.